The trucking industry is one of those environments that you have to be strong in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit because of the nature of the work. We have long hours as truck drivers. We are isolated in a box every day and every night. When we decide to rest, we are closed in. We are dealing with difficult dispatch managers, and maybe we are being pressured to be on time for a load. We are dealing with bad traffic and bad weather, and the list goes on and on. And so this is an environment that can test us on all levels: our patience, our mental capacity, our physical capacity. And so when people say that you are just a driver, this is not entirely true because of all the challenges and the struggles that we face as truck drivers. We are not just truck drivers. We have to be strong overall in our well-being. I know some of you out there have been doing it for 10, 20, 30 or more years. And this is very admirable because it takes a lot of inner strength, not just physically, to be able to perform at an industry like this in this kind of environment. Welcome to this channel. My name is James. This is Survivor News Truck Talk, where we talk about personal development for truck drivers. And I want to discuss in this particular discussion the transformational framework that we need as truck drivers to be able to tackle challenges and struggles that come our way in the trucking industry. I have been talking about spirituality for over 24 years now. I have spoken in front of people, worked with groups of people. So all I'm simply doing is taking my experience and bringing it over here for us as truckers because I personally know what we face. I've been truck driving over the road for about 5 years now, and so I know those struggles that we face every day. One of the first things that we want to do when we are facing struggles in the trucking industry, and it does not matter the situation, whether it's from a coworker, a dispatch manager, maybe you're getting low pay, whatever the struggle that you're facing, the challenge that you're facing, what we want to do is firstly, this is the first step, and I'm going to give us 5 steps to take to be successful over these challenges. And so the first step is to spiritually surrender, or just simply embrace the situation, because when we are fighting the situation and we are throwing coals into the fire, so to speak, what we are doing is making things worse. And we don't want to do that because it puts us in a worse mood. It makes us more frustrated. And you get the point that I'm trying to say. And so when it pops up, that challenge, that struggle, whatever it may be in the trucking industry, in your personal life, maybe in a relationship, maybe in your health, accept it. And you will see that it's going to create a more positive foundation for you and for us to work from. The second step is to live in the present moment. And I know that we hear this a lot, live in the present moment, live in the present moment. But when we dive into this deeper, living in the present moment, we take a pause, we become still, and we recognize everything around us, our surroundings. We become self-aware. It's a deep awareness of knowing your surroundings and what is happening, because when we think too much about the past or the future, this robs us of the present moment. Even the small things matter, like things that maybe your partner do for you, a simple thank you. All the small things matter because that's going to allow you to accept that present moment. Let me give you an example to put this into more perspective. This way you can understand that we are conscious and that we ourselves are consciousness. For instance, when you're in a line at a grocery store, or maybe, at a Pilot or a Love's, and there's a long line and you are just recognizing this, there are people waiting, there's a lot of people around, and you just begin to become self-aware that this is reality and this is what is taking place right now. That's living in the present moment. That's consciousness. Maybe at night when you are having trouble falling asleep and you are aware that you cannot fall asleep, and so you're having a difficult time and you're awake. That is consciousness. And this is an important practice spiritually, because when problems come our way, sometimes we lose track of the present moment, and that does not allow us to tackle the problem properly. We're going to work from a place of frustration instead of a place of being still and being calm. So the next time that the challenge comes up, remember the first two steps is embrace the situation. And secondly, we want to live in the present moment. Don't let anything or anyone rob you of your peace and your joy, because that's what we all deserve. We deserve to have balance. We deserve to have joy. No matter how hard trucking can be, I understand. Let us not allow the trucking to take away that from us. The third step that we need to take in this process, this transformational process, this framework that we are establishing, is that we need to internalize positive thought. Why? Because internalizing positive thought will allow us, again, to have a better foundation to build from. And sometimes we internalize negative thought. And what does that mean? Well, when someone makes a comment or they say something about you, your personality, your character, whatever the case may be, and you begin to internalize that negatively, and that's not good, because we are believing the other person, what they are saying is true, and we don't want to do that. Instead, the third step is to internalize positive thought. We replace that negativity with positivity. I know that it sounds basic and simple, but the next time that we are feeling frustrated or we are overwhelmed by a problem, remember to internalize goodness, because that's what we're made of. We're created in the likeness of the universe. We have the power to do many things in life. We have the ability, we have the intelligence. We are created in the likeness of the universe to do great things. So remember this. The 3 steps so far are to surrender to the moment, embrace it, and don't fight back, because it will make it worse. Live in the present moment. Don't let anything rob you from your peace and your joy. And third, internalize positivity. The fourth step that we want to keep in mind now that we are going through this transformational framework to reduce stress, to transform our lives, to make changes, is that we want to begin to renew the mind. And this goes back to an old saying, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you can prove what is good. Well, in this modern day society, it's no different. We have to be able to renew our mind in a way that we stop limiting ourselves. What are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are those thoughts that come into our mind that we cannot do this certain goal or achieve this goal. We cannot accomplish this thing that we have in our heart, or we are not good enough. And so these are limiting beliefs. We want to set those aside and begin to renew the mind. And the example that I like to give is, if you have a car that you park in the driveway or rather you park it in the grass over and over and over, and it begins to make tracks or impressions on the grass, that's a pathway that is being created by the vehicle parking on the grass over and over. It's an impression, so to speak. And so it is the same way with our brains physically, not just spiritually. When we take an action, we make a decision, what we are doing in the brain physically is creating those pathways. And so when that situation comes up again, we are naturally going to take that pathway. It is the same way with intelligence and thought. We want to be careful the decisions that we are making, because it becomes a habit. And you know how hard it is to break bad habits once we continue to take that same path over and over again. So keep this in mind, that spiritually and physically, when we are making decisions, we have to take a different path and renew the mind in a way that is going to allow us to make a good decision naturally when that thing comes up. Breaking bad habits is not easy, especially as truck drivers. We have all these fast food choices around us. Sometimes we're just so tired at the end of the day, working 12, 13, 14 hours or more. We don't want to exercise. So this is an environment that is set up for us to not take care of ourselves, but we have to be conscious, we have to be aware, and we have to take the good path and make good impressions within our mind, mentally and physically and spiritually. And then you will begin to see that these decisions get easier and easier, and then with time, you begin to renew the mind. If you're finding value so far from this discussion, all I simply ask is to like the video, subscribe if you like, if you want to continue to hear discussions like this on personal development for truck drivers, and share this video with other truckers that need to hear this transformational framework. And so the last step, the fifth step, is going to be implementation. And simply we need to take action, because when we just sit back and we gather all this knowledge, we can read a lot of books, we can hear a lot of podcasts or watch a lot of trucking videos like this, but never take action. It's going to just put us in a stagnant place, and we don't want that. Once we have the knowledge, that is the power that we have, that is the ammo we have now to load that into our system, mentally, and begin to take action. So what have we seen in summarizing these steps? Surrender to the moment. It doesn't mean that we're going to be taken advantage of or that we are going to be taken for granted. What it means is that we humble ourselves and embrace the situation. Secondly, we become self-aware and highly aware of the present moment. And also we internalize positivity, we renew the mind, and now we take action. What good is it if we just have all this knowledge sitting there in our knowledge bank and we never go out and take the steps? And what can we do right now as truck drivers to begin to take these steps to better personal development, to better personal growth, to become a better version of ourselves? Well, the next time a struggle, a challenge comes up, what we want to do is, step one, accept it. So what we have just learned here is what I've taken over the years and what I've learned from, ancient teachings, also from things that I've studied in theology, also from things that I have studied in personal development. And this is the framework that we can all use in any parts of our lives. And if you noticed, I'm not sure if you did, this acronym or these steps spell out the word spirit, SPIRINT. And we did not discuss the very last one, but the result of this is transformation when we take all these steps. So keep this in mind if you want to remember the steps. They spell the word spirit. So truckers, I hope that this information is helpful. My encouragement is to apply it. Try it out when a struggle comes up, a challenge comes up, or you are just trying to break a bad habit. Try this framework out. Give it a chance. Be patient with yourself. Try to stay calm when things arise, and you will begin to see that you will start to transform little by little. So thank you for taking the time to hear this video. Again, if you found value in this framework, all I ask is that you simply like the video, share it with other truckers. If you want to hear more, subscribe. And also don't forget about the RoadCom app. That is a development project that has been in the works for about 4 or 5 months now. It's taking longer than anticipated. It's a tech project. It's going to be a truckers app to help us with our mental wellness as truckers. It's called RoadCom, and it's in the works. I still have the team going to do some changes in it because I'm not completely satisfied where it's at right now, but we are doing our best, to tweak it, to fine tune it so that it can be a good tool for us as truck drivers. If you want to find out more about that, you can visit roadcom.ai, put in a good email in the free email sign-up box, and I'll keep you updated as soon as we launch that tool for you. Stay safe out there, truckers, and stay Roadcom.